Hey Simmers, today I'm going to show you how to cheat deaths in The Sims 4. There's a bunch of cheats that you might like, especially if you want to get rid of certain annoying Sims that just will not leave you alone. Or maybe you're doing a 100 baby challenge and you want to conveniently get rid of your Sim's baby daddy. If you know, you know. Let's get started, shall we? Okay, first off, I need to show you how to toggle death on or off. Bring up your cheat bar, Control-Shift-C, and enable testing cheats. Testing cheats, all one word, space on, or space true. To toggle death on or off, this will enable or disable your Sims dying in your save. So death dot toggle space true to enable deaths, or death dot toggle space false to disable deaths. These death cheats should work without using testing cheats on. The reason why these should work without turning testing cheats on is because they are essentially trait cheats, which means that they can be used on consoles without disabling your trophies or achievements. So to kill a Sim in a specific way, make sure you've got that Sim selected, and then type in your traits cheat, which is traits.equip _trait space, and then the ghost trait that you want them to have. So in this case, it is ghost lightning, ghost _ lightning. Hit enter. And here you go. Our friend is now a ghost that has been killed by lightning. And the way that you can tell is if you look inside of his chest here, you can see the lightning flash. Now, if you want to remove this, let's say that you have a ghost that's been killed by lightning and you want to remove the trait, traits.remove _trait space ghost _ lightning, and that removes the ghost form, bringing your Sim back to life. Poor Kurt here is going to be our guinea pig for the rest of this. So the next one that we want to do is death by drowning. So this is... Sorry about that. This is traits.equip _trait space ghost _ drown. And you'll see here, Kurt is now a ghost who died by drowning. Now, this doesn't actually kill them by that way, it just turns them into a ghost. And of course, if you want to disable that or bring your Sim back to life, then it is simply traits.remove _trait space ghost _ drown. Enter. And there we go. He is no longer a ghost. These cheats, by the way, are case sensitive, so you do need to remember to type in uppercase G on ghost and uppercase L for lightning or D for drown and so on. So the next one is traits.equip _trait death by killer rabbit, which is ghost _ animal objects _ killer rabbit. Hit enter. And once again, poor Kurt here is a ghost, and you can see in his chest is the head of a rabbit to show that he has been killed by a killer rabbit. To remove that trait, it is traits.remove _trait ghost _ animal objects _ killer rabbit. Okay, next up we have death by starvation. Traits.equip _trait space ghost hunger. Hit enter. And you'll see that our Sim is once again a ghost. If I can get him to hold still. There we go. And of course he goes into haunting a mirror. And to get rid of that, because I really don't want him haunting my mirror, traits.remove _trait space ghost _ hunger. to bring him back to life. There we go. For those of you who are eagle-eyed, you'll notice that even though he had come back to life, he was still haunting the mirror. That does happen if they're in the middle of haunting things. Don't worry, it'll right itself as soon as they're finished, or you can cancel the haunting interaction. It is a bit weird, but there you go. Next up is Death by Sauna, which is traits.equip_trait space ghost_steam. Hit enter. And here we go. Poor old Kurt has been killed by Sauna. Stop haunting things. And you can just see in his chest there is a bunch of steam. I swear, what is it with ghosts and their insistence on haunting everything? Okay, of course, to remove that, it is traits.remove_trait space ghost_steam. And he comes back. Poor Kurt here. He's had a rough day today. Right, let's start with the next one, which is Death by Spellcaster Overload. It is ghost_witch overload, all one word. Traits.equip_trait space ghost_witch overload. This only works if you have the Sims 4 magic pack. Of course, to remove that cheat is traits.remove_trait space ghost_witch overload. Next up is Death by Falling. Traits.equip_trait space ghost_climbing route. All one word. Hit enter. And our friend Kurt here is now a ghost once again who has died by falling from a great height. To remove this is traits.remove_trait space ghost_climbing route. Next up, we have the consumed by mother plant ghost. Traits.equip_trait space ghost_mother plant. And you'll see around Kurt these spores coming off of him. That shows that the sim has been killed by the mother plant. To disable it, it is traits.remove_trait ghost_mother plant. Alright, next up we have Death by Pufferfish Poisoning. Type in traits.equip_trait space ghost_pufferfish. Enter. And you'll see swimming in your now ghost sim's chest a little tiny puffer fish. To remove this, it is just the opposite of enabling it, which is remove. So traits.remove_trait space ghost_pufferfish. Once again, your sim has been brought back to life. Death by Rabid Rodent Fever is next. Traits.equip_trait space ghost_rodent_disease. Remember, this is case sensitive, so uppercase G, uppercase R, uppercase D. Hit enter, and our sim is now a giant rat ghost. This is one of the few deaths that actually change your sim as far as what they look like. And because we don't want poor Kurt here to look like a giant rat any longer than necessary, traits.remove_trait space ghost_rodent_disease will bring him back to life. Traits.equip_trait space ghost_stink bomb will kill your sim by stink bomb. Again, this doesn't actually give them the death animation, so in case you're wondering where all these death animations are, these cheats will not trigger the death animation. They only turn your sim into a ghost. And to remove the ghost trait, traits.remove_trait space ghost_stink bomb. And there we are. The next ghostly trait is traits.equip_trait space ghost_animal objects_killer chicken. It's a long one, but that kills your sim or turns your sim into a ghost of someone that has been killed by a killer chicken, and you will see in the Ghost Sims chest the head of a killer chicken. And of course, to remove this ghostly trait, it is traits.remove underscore trait space ghost underscore animal objects underscore killer chicken. If you want a ghost that has been killed by mortification or ultimate embarrassment, traits.equip underscore trait space ghost underscore embarrassment. And to remove the trait, traits.remove underscore trait space ghost underscore embarrassment. The next ghost trait or ghost type is cardiac explosion, otherwise known as death by anger. Traits.equip underscore trait space ghost underscore anger. And you will see a bit of smoke in the Ghost Sims chest. And to remove it, it is traits.remove underscore trait space ghost underscore anger. And there we are. To get a ghost that has been killed by electrocution, traits.equip underscore trait space ghost underscore electrocution. And you will see in the Ghost Sims chest some electricity. And to remove, of course, it is traits.remove underscore trait space ghost space electrocution. Moving on, we have death by death flower. Traits.equip underscore trait space ghost underscore death flower. And to remove that trait and bring your sim back to life, traits.remove underscore trait space ghost underscore death flower. Next up, everyone's favorite death, or at least one of my favorite deaths, is crushed by vending machine. Traits.equip underscore trait space ghost underscore vending machine. And you will see inside the Sims chest is a spinning can of pop that is squirting pop out of it. And removing it is as simple as traits.remove underscore trait space ghost underscore vending machine. Death by fire is next, and that is traits.equip underscore trait space ghost underscore fire. And inside of your Ghost Sims chest will be a smoldering fire. Ghosts that have been killed by fire will also start fires. So you need to be careful with this ghost type. So let's remove the trait by typing in traits.remove underscore trait space ghost underscore fire. Moving on to eaten by cowplant. Traits.equip underscore trait space ghost underscore cowplant. And to remove it, of course, is traits.remove underscore trait space ghost underscore cowplant. Death by poison is traits.equip underscore trait space ghost underscore poison. And you'll see a rather stinky cloud coming from your sim. That is the stench of the poison, of course. And of course, to remove that is traits.remove underscore trait space ghost underscore poison. If you want a ghost that has been killed by a meteorite, traits.equip underscore trait space ghost underscore meteorite. And you will notice in your Ghost Sims chest a flaming meteorite. To remove the trait, it is traits.remove underscore trait space ghost underscore meteorite. To have your sim turn into a ghost who has died by freezing, traits.equip underscore trait space ghost underscore frozen. And you will see it coming from that ghost, a rather frozen cloud emanating from them. And of course, to remove that trait and bring them back to life, it is traits.remove underscore trait space ghost underscore frozen. To turn your sim into a ghost of someone who has died from old age, traits.equip underscore trait space ghost underscore old age. And to remove it, of course, is traits.remove underscore trait space ghost underscore old age. This is an eco-living ghost type next. And that is a ghost of someone who has died by flies. Traits.equip underscore trait, space ghost underscore flies. And you'll notice in the Sims chest is a bunch of flies, and there are also flies flying around them. Take a shot for every time I say the word flies in that quote. And of course, to remove that ghost type is traits.remove underscore trait, space ghost underscore flies. To create a ghost of someone who has died by heat stroke, it is traits.equip underscore trait, space ghost underscore overheat. And of course, to remove that trait, it is traits.remove underscore trait, space ghost underscore overheat. If you have tiny living, you can turn your sim into a ghost who has been crushed by a Murphy bed. That is traits.equip underscore trait, space ghost underscore Murphy bed. And you'll see emanating from your ghost sim a bunch of Zs that signify death by the bed. And of course, to remove it, it is traits.remove underscore trait, ghost underscore Murphy bed. And your sim is back to life. Next up, we have a ghost of someone who has died by overexertion. Traits.equip underscore trait, space ghost underscore elder exhaustion. And of course, to remove that ghost trait, it is traits.remove underscore trait, space ghost underscore elder exhaustion. To create a ghost of someone who has died by sunlight, this is vampires. Traits.equip underscore trait, space ghost underscore vampire underscore sun. Once your sim turns into a ghost, you will see a giant sun in their chest. And to remove this ghost trait and turn your sim back into an alive sim, you want traits.remove underscore trait, space ghost underscore vampire underscore sun. And finally, we have a nice Easter egg, and that is traits.equip underscore trait, space ghost underscore beetle. This is the beetle juice Easter egg, which is normally caused, type of death normally caused by drinking a specific type of juice called beetle juice. And of course, to remove this ghost and to bring your sim back to life, traits.remove underscore trait, space ghost underscore beetle. There we have it. And that, my friends, is every single ghost type cheat that we have in The Sims 4. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it useful, please share it with a friend, because the more ghosts in our Sims games, the more chaotic life will be. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.